In this practice, we'll be opening up the upper body by doing lots of shoulder work. You'll need 2 blocks, so grab them and let's begin. We'll start in all fours position. Place your blocks on their medium height and slightly closer than shoulder width apart. Take your elbows down to the blocks. With your elbows on the blocks, press your hands, walk your knees back to give you a little bit more space. And as you press your hands in a prayer position, draw your thumbs back toward your spine. Now your belly wants to just kind of hang here. So see if you can draw the navel in toward the spine to keep your back body a little bit more full. Press your elbows down, press your fingertips toward each other and reach your thumbs back just a little bit more. Allow your head to just release, so the weight of the head helps to elongate your neck. And just breathe very freely and naturally. Keep on pressing the elbows in, drawing the fingers back slightly. And as you're ready, straighten your arms. And as you straighten your arms, have your palms face each other. You can work your knees back slightly. As you spread your fingers, you're pressing the elbows still into the blocks. Keep a nice tone in the navel area by drawing the navel up toward the spine. Keep on working the elbows into the blocks as if you're kind of karate chopping the blocks with the full arm. And inhale, lift yourself up and out of the pose. Take your hands to the blocks. On the in-breath, draw your heart forward. On the exhale breath, with your toes tucked under, draw your pelvis back. Inhale, come up to all fours position. Draw your heart forward, lift your chin. Exhale, as if you're trying to create like the letter C with your spine. Draw from the navel back. Inhale, up to all fours, like cat-cow. Draw your heart forward. Exhale, just reach back. Walk your hands toward your knees. Have your knees together and bring your inner big toes together. So now you're sitting on your heels. And if that's not working for you, just keep your hands right on the mat. If you can, put a little bit more weight on the heels, sit tall. Breathe in deep and out long. Now take your hands back to the blocks, but just set one block to the side. With your right hand on the block in that middle position, on the inhale breath, reach your left arm up. On the exhale breath, reach your left hand right under your right armpit. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, thread it underneath your right armpit. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift up and take your left hand to your low back, maybe even reach it toward your right cheek. As you do, draw your right ear toward your right shoulder. Just get a nice stretch on the left side of the neck, from the left ear to the shoulder. Now can you turn your gaze toward your right armpit to get just a little different stretch. Now come out of this pose to Step your left hand on the block. Reach your right arm up. Thread it under your left armpit. Inhale, lift your right arm up, spread your fingers, thread it under the armpit and press your fingernails down toward the floor so that you get nice engagement in the arm. Inhale, one more time. Reach your right arm up. Exhale, do the twist. Press your hand very firmly. Now come up to keep your left hand at the block. Take your right hand to your low back. Maybe you can inch your right hand over toward your left cheek. And turn your gaze toward the right side. Now allow your left ear to drop toward your left shoulder. And get the right shoulder to move a little bit further from the right ear. Now turn your head so that you're looking down at the hand and draw your chin slightly toward your chest while still moving the right shoulder away from the right ear. And release out of this pose. Come to downward facing dog or child's pose, whichever you prefer. As you come to the pose of your choice, get a nice fullness through the breath. Fullness in your stance. Look at your hands, spread your fingers, keep your feet hip distance apart. You might want to pedal your legs, but do it slowly so that you can draw your left heel down. Straighten your right leg, draw your right heel down. With both legs straight, walk your hands back toward your feet. Place your hands to your low back and rise up. So from this wide stance, turn your right toes, bend your right knee. Now let's do the arm movements so that we can get a nice opening to the shoulders. Interlace your fingers, draw them toward your chest. Now reach the interlaced fingers forward and up. Make a W with your elbows. And we'll add one more thing. Take the hands behind your back with your fingers interlaced. Draw your heart down toward your inner knee. Keep your back leg really strong. Go a little bit deeper if you can, and maybe even lift your interlaced fingers up off your low back. Place your hands to your low back and lift yourself out of the pose. Parallel your feet. With your feet parallel, take your hands down to the floor. Walk your hands forward just slightly. Now take your fingertips over to the left side and bend your left knee. Keep your right leg straight. Take your hands forward. Have your hands nice and wide apart. Walk your hands to the opposite side. Bend your right knee. Go a little bit deeper and come out of the pose. Come back to the center position. Place your hands to the low back and rise up. Turn your left toes out. Look at the lineup of the front heel to the back arch. Bend your knee. Interlace your fingers and pull them in toward your heart. Reach out. Lift your arms up with the elbows slightly bent. Free your hands. Draw your elbows forward, your hands back in this W shape. Take your hands behind your back. With the fingers interlaced, draw your heart down toward your inner knee. Reach your hand up. Reach your interlaced fingers up. Press your hands to your low back. Rise up. Parallel your feet again. Take your hands down to the mat. Step the hands a little bit further away from your feet. Walk your hands over to your left side. Bend your left knee. Place your right hand on top of your left and inch the right hand just a little bit taller than the left. Come back to the center position. Walk your hands over to the right side. Bend your right knee. Walk your hands at the diagonal. So you can take your left hand on top of your right. Pull back from the top of the left thigh. Come back to the center position. Shorten your stance just slightly. Turn your right toes out. Turn your left toes toward the front edge of the mat. And you can move your foot over, right foot over to the outside edge to make sure that you've got plenty of room to move. If you feel like you're a little out of balance, then take a wider step. And take your right hand in front of your left. Press your hands in this prayer position. And as you do, bring your hands forward and just hold the pose there. So you're getting a nice stretch to the back leg. You're allowing yourself to lengthen in the pose. Now free your left hand and take the left hand to the right leg. Take the right hand to the low back and turn your heart to look toward the right side. Now inhale and rise up. Come to the opposite side. So turn your right toes in, your left toes out, and take a moment to balance yourself. So the right hip is coming forward. With the left foot forward, wrap the left hand in front of the right. Turn the palms, reach them up with the elbows slightly bent, with the palms pressing and the wrists crossed. Reach your hands forward. Just get a nice length in the spine. Release your right hand down. Take your left hand to the low back. Turn your heart toward the left. And inhale to rise up. Heel toe your feet in. If you can come to a squat pose, please do. If not, then we'll all meet seated in a cross-legged pose. Cross your right leg in front. Take your right hand to the outside of the left thigh so the palm is open. Take your left hand behind you. And before you start turning your head, take your left hand a little bit closer to your right cheek. Now press the back of the right hand against the leg and turn your ribs to look toward the left side. Drop your right ear a little bit closer toward your right shoulder. So you stretch the left side of the neck. Now drop your chin just slightly toward your right shoulder. Just stay in the pose. And now inhale and lift up. And cross your legs the opposite way. So with the left leg in front, with the left hand to the outside of the right leg, turn your palm to open up and press the back of the hand to the thigh. Walk your right hand just over to the left side of the hip. Have the hand really close to the pelvic area, and as you press the left hand against the right leg. Draw your right ear toward your right shoulder. Look down just slightly. And now release out of the pose. Come to lie on your back. With your knees bent, press your feet down. Press your elbows down by bending your arms with the palms facing each other and the fingers spread. On the next in-breath, lift your pelvis up and get a nice elevation to the pelvis. Keep your legs very active. Draw from the heels toward your heart. Keep on lifting the heart higher. Release your pelvis down. Release your arms. Release your legs. In this practice, we created a little bit more freedom in the upper back and the shoulders to create the sense of spaciousness of your heart. So as you breathe in through the nose and you breathe out through the nose, just have a softness to your facial muscles. Allow your arms and your legs to feel like they're completely supported. Take your attention to the breath. You breathe in deep and out long. You breathe in deep and out long. Breathe in deep and out long. Now breathe freely and naturally. Enjoy this time of restoration and rejuvenation. Namaste.